Hi, welcome to this Wicked Woman Wednesday edition of Liquid Lunch on Biz TV. I'm John Tobacco. We're coming to you live as we do every single day from the Corona Bunker Studios right here in my living room in Staten Island, New York. And lots to break down in the business world, lots to break down in the markets, lots to break down in entertainment today. We're going to have quite the entertaining day when we have model, actress, and now investigative reporter Zen Sams joins us in just a few minutes. And in hour two, Lisa, the love coach Concepcion, is going to talk to you about how to get yourself straight coming out of quarantine and how you can uplift yourself and your love life. And then uplifting your entertainment game is the host herself of the Red Carpet Rendezvous podcast. Lauren Conlon's going to join us in hour two and talk to us about what's good in the movies, what's good on Netflix, and what's not good in Hollywood as this continued conspiracy theory of Pizzagate perpetuates itself. But all that's for later. For now, let's talk about the markets. Had a wicked good day yesterday. Market right now at 26.7. It got itself above that 26,000 number, as I mentioned. And when it closes above a round number, that's usually a good sign for programmatic trading platforms. And now at 26.7, you have the White House is coming out a lot stronger now, saying that both Moderna and another company are making great strides with vaccines. They're expanding it now to 2,400 people in a new human test, and half of them will be given the vaccine, half of them won't. We'll see how that works. And continued evidence bubbling to the top that, lo and behold, hydroxychloroquine does work. And a new study just came out saying that like 65% of the people who were given it early in higher doses, it actually had a prophylactic effect. So it had a protective effect on preventing the virus or preventing the symptoms from being super strong. There are spikes in a lot of states. You got Texas, you got Florida. These are states that originally said they weren't doing anything, but at the same time, you have all kinds of reports coming out that the return ratio on positives is like 100% in Florida, that they're mixing up some of the tests. Some of the tests they have are antigen tests are positive. They're recording them as positive for COVID. So a lot of craziness going on. But if you're like me, the main craziness is we got to break down this whole Antifa Black Lives Matter movement. And I'll say it again, Black Lives Matter, the sentence is right on the money, okay? The movement, hashtag capital Black Lives Matter, that's not for us. Those people are telling you straight out, do a little homework, 2 Google searches, put in Black Lives Matter founders, Marxists, and you will find videos of them saying we are trained Marxists. That's what they are. And if you do a little more homework and say Karl Marx, nuclear family, simple Google, you'll find that in the manifesto of things that Marxists believe in, it is the lack of need for a patriarch in the home and the complete breakdown of the nuclear family. So Joe Biden did another press conference with teleprompters yesterday. All the questions were already telegraphed. He was actually calling on them by name. I believe it says here that Christine from NBC has a question for me. And you know he's got the question, and you know they got the answer in the teleprompter. But everybody's screaming about Trump in the Rose Garden, but it's no bed of roses for Joe Biden every time they bring him out of hiding. And it's going to be a bed of roses for you right after this when Zen Sams joins us to talk about a not-so-gleeful situation. Back in just 1 minute.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Right, welcome back. It is a Woman Wednesday, which, of course, as a male, and yes, I am identifying as a male today. I love it when we have the women's point of view on the show, and let me tell you, we got some amazing women guests today. We have women every day for all the haters out there, but Nico and Jess roasted me pretty solidly last week on the show. For those of you who tuned into the after show, and after the show, it's the after party. On Friday, we took down a whole, handle of spiced rum and Coke. Nico and Jess did their best impersonations of me. And Nico, you know what today is, right? Give it to me. It's a
whopper of a Woman Wednesday.
There you go. Is it a fire-breathing dragon of a Woman Wednesday or no?
Of course, it's a fire-breathing dragon.
That's my senior producer, Nico. And he's actually picking up a pretty decent impersonation of me. There he is. And there's Jess. She has a little bit of a headache today, so we're going easy on her. Zen Sams is going to be joining us momentarily. She's an actress. She's a model. On top of that, she's a super mom. And she joins us right now from her lofty perch above Manhattan. How are you, Zen?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I would say I'm filled with glee, but it's not a gleeful day in Hollywood today, as they recovered the body of Naya Rivera, and now the reports are coming out, like any great mother, went right to her last breath, I guess, to save her child from perishing with her. What are you hearing?
Yeah, everybody knows about Naya Rivera now, and she was, for those that don't know, she began her career as a child actress and model as 4 years old on the Royal Family sitcom on CBS, and she had a number of other TV appearances. But it was playing the cold-hearted Santana Lopez in Glee that really made her a star, and that's how people know her and identify her. She was 33 years old. She was only the good die young, John. And yes, she went missing last week. What a devastating story. And Josie, who's 4, told rescuers that his mother had gone into the water to swim, but she didn't get back on the boat. And basically, when he looked back, he saw her disappear under the surface of the water. That floored me. That right there, literally, my heart skipped a beat and it took my breath away and I started crying. I broke down because I can't even imagine my daughter, who's the exact same age, seeing this happen and then remaining in the boat and falling asleep and being found hours later by rescuers. I mean, what a devastating story. And I wondered if we weren't faced with the COVID-19 pandemic. And I wonder if this was a different time, if she would have taken him out on the boat. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're all trying to find things that are socially distant. We're trying to find creative ways to keep our children entertained. She probably, went out there with the best intentions, was so excited to take her child out on a boat, and it ended in such a tragedy. And it's such a sad story. But her character, Santana Lopez on Glee, became an icon for the LGBTQ community. And so she's not just missed as a mother and as a co-star, but a lot of fans are so disappointed. I want to make a special note here because somebody asked me yesterday, is there something up with the cast of Glee? Like, is there a black cloud? Because there's been other cast members. And there was another cast member by the name of Corey Monteith and Mark Salling. They'd also died. And the loss of these young actors had some questioning whether there's a Glee curse, because the discovery of her body coincides with the 7th anniversary of Monteith's death. And Monteith was 31 when he was found dead in a hotel room in British Columbia in 2013. So there's something else going on over there, which is a different show. But the character was always written to be devastating. And she was the smoking hot cheerleader with razor sharp fans. They adored her. Her name was Santana. That was the character's name. And over the course of the show's 6 seasons, she became a beacon to lesbian, bisexuals, and especially young Latina and Black fans, many of whom were seeing themselves on screen for the first time. And now her death has that entire community devastated. And it's a reminder of just how much it means when the people who portray LGBTQ characters and they become fierce advocates for that very same community, how much of an impact they have, even if they themselves are not,
weren't LGBTQIA. You got to put
Yeah.
in. You got to put in the IA. I'm told now. There's
Yeah, IA,
more
yep.
more
IA,
letters.
So this Glee, this show premiered in 2009, and it was like this musical series sensation straight out of a choir room, and everybody loved it. It was all
Yeah,
dancing.
I didn't love it. I have to tell you, I'm not big on musicals. So when you say everybody, don't use such a broad stroke, okay?
Right.
I didn't care for Glee, but I know this girl was a very positive role model for young kids that were in the LGBTQIA community. And that, that's all that matters the most, I guess, because kids got confidence from the role she played in Hollywood. But let me ask you this. A little later on in the show, we're going to be talking to Lauren Conlon about all the celebrities that are allegedly tangled up in this whole Pizzagate routine, that they're supposedly storing little kids in Foot Lockers, that they're selling on Wayfair, and Ellen and Oprah, and all this other stuff is going on. Is there any possibility that Naya Rivera's disappearance is related to Pizzagate?
No.
No.
Absolutely not related. I mean, this poor woman was what a sad way. And I know there's so much going on right now, but on Women Wednesday, paying tribute to Rivera is important because the LGBTQIA community really mourns her, but so does her father and her mother, and she was so loved, and she will be so missed. And in her reported last act on Earth of lifting her 4-year-old son into the safety of the boat, she was still saving lives. And as a new generation of queer women find Santana Lopez through the years, she will continue changing the world for the better because that character is very impactful.
Well, it's a very good point you're making. I wouldn't have thought of it, and that's why on Women Wednesday we have the best guests, because the perspective is much better than mine, as most women's are probably better than men's for the most part. Give me a little quick, if you can, for a few minutes, if you're hearing any rumblings. I have some friends of mine who are in like the stagehands union, and they're saying they're being told that filming and shooting on anything around New York is probably not looking like anything's going to happen till October. Are you hearing anything better than that?
October is a very, very optimistic.
Right.
Very optimistic. I'm hearing that currently in the U.S., it's going to be really difficult. They're having a lot of difficulty getting the insurance companies to bond the films, and COVID-19 is still a fight. They want to exclude it. So I just don't see how within the U.S. the film industry picks up where it left off, or continues to function fully with the unions. And right now we have guilds and we have unions, and we have a lot of heat coming down with inspectors for the film sets and the way it should work, especially in the tri-state area and especially in America. Everybody is going overseas. Dubai, Africa, Malta, Europe, New Zealand, they're already filming there. Our productions right now at Romulus Entertainment are not going to be taking place in the US. They're going to be overseas. Because that's where productions have been greenlit. There's going to be an array of problems here in the U.S. before things start to pick up. And I would safely say that closer to the end of the year, productions will be back up and running in a limited capacity. And that's only if there's a bill that gets passed for some sort of relief for the insurers to cover COVID-19. Otherwise, insurance companies, if they don't cover it, the bonding won't close. And if the bonding doesn't close, the financing doesn't close. And therefore, production halts.
So I'm waiting for a new season of Ozark. That's probably not coming my way. I'm waiting for some new episodes on Queen of the South. That's not coming to my way. And then Money Heist. I think that's filmed in Spain or something. So maybe we'll get
Heist. Yes, Money Heist. I think they're going back in production. They already have said it. But I mean, it's anything filming locally. So the local is going to be the problem. And the companies, I heard somebody say yesterday, well, we do, smaller films and they're micro budget. And the problem is, even if you do micro budget films that do not involve the union here in the US or in the tri-state area, that means you're working with non-union actors. That means the quality of actors you're working with are not part of the union. And therefore your sales will be affected when you try to sell that movie for what you want. So
got it.
they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. It really needs to be a collective. Everybody goes back to work at the same time, at least for the U.S., because it is a mess right now, and nobody has the answers.
No. All right, well, most of the time you have the answers for us. That's why I love when you join us on Wednesday. Thank you so much. I hope we're still looking into defunding the DA, because that's our movement.
How many hits our segment got?
Yes, that was amazing. I mean, people want to hear about that, obviously.
That was pretty good, because Cy Vance Jr. was trending in the media that very day.
I know. We were right on top of everything. All right, we got to cut out. Thank you, Zen. You're the best. Zen Sams, model, actress, supermom, and our Hollywood insider. Not good news if you're waiting for new episodes, but good news if you're waiting for the news of the day, because I'm going to come back right after this with some of that for you. All right, welcome back. We got some news of the day to cover here. I want to talk to you about the markets because, people have said I'm sending out mixed messages on what I think about the markets. I am a purist in some ways, so when I look at a chart, if you look at charts, they usually, over some period of time, they have some symmetry to them. They go up and then they come down, and they go up and they come down. When I see the chart of this market, and I know the fundamental side is that the government has been pumping trillions of dollars of cash in, I feel like this big spike has to have a point of breakdown before it can get some real stability. On the other hand, the market itself is a forward-looking vehicle, and Johnny T don't know a thing. I can make some assumptions and hypotheses about what I think is going to happen or could happen, or how this looks like something I've seen in the past, but it sure looks like the market is producing more buyers than sellers, right? And that's like the simplest way to put it. Why is the market up today? Well, there were more people buying than selling. Not necessarily perfectly true, but for the most part, when there's more buyers than sellers, the market goes up. Okay, that's a simple one, right? The market is raging now. Now it's up 150. Came into the show today, kind of level, but now it's up 150 at 26,790. So right here around 26,800, a breakthrough of 27,000 is another one of those positive signs. Now we were getting up there in the 29s right about when all this COVID crap happened. So I'm starting to feel like the market may be thinking, all right, we can shake off all that government intervention. That helped, but we're seeing good things ahead. And they're talking about vaccines that may be getting closer. Many people don't realize when you hear the left wing talking about, oh God, how terrible the president was, and he didn't act quick enough and could have cost hundreds of thousands of lives. Within a week of China even admitting that this thing existed, keep in mind, Donald Trump shut down flights from China against the urgings of both Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden, who said cutting down travel from China was xenophobic, it was racist, this, that, the other thing. You can't have it both ways, okay? Only I get to have my cake and eat it too. Okay, you can't say he didn't act quick enough when at the time he acted, you told him he was acting too quick. Maybe they forget that there are people out there like me and my team that remember these things and can point them out to you at home. A lot of people keep asking me, Johnny, is Trump going to win? I don't think, unless, the next thing could come. I mean, this is how badly. You don't realize that we are literally in a holy war between good and evil in our government. And the evil side, the Democratic left-wing institutionalists who are against freeing slaves, who were against giving slaves the right to vote, giving women the right to vote, the same Democratic left-wing institutionalists are the ones right now that are using every weapon available to them, including George Soros, they've outsourced a lot of the fundraising to the DNC to Black Lives Matter and George Soros. I saw a report yesterday that George Soros was allegedly going to put another $220 million into campaigns to fight against social injustice and social inequality. Those are all dog whistles for left-wing Marxist propaganda. Open borders, it takes a village, the breakdown of the nuclear family. That's what Soros wants. He wants one world where there is no individual characteristics. There's no humans. There are no things. There's no religion. There's no color. There's no sex. We're just all this one gray mass that's controlled by the government. Now, this morning, I shopped at some local businesses, which I've been trying to do left and right, because I have my daughter's prom. They were allowed to have a prom finally, and they're going to have the pre-prom here. So I was in the Christmas tree shops this morning, and I got there a little early because I wanted to get in and out before all the ladies started swarming the place. And I got there around 8:40. And they opened at 9. So I was sitting in the car having a coffee, reading the newspaper, and all of a sudden, one by one, I start seeing, all these moms and housewives getting out of their cars, and every single one of them has a mask on. And they're all standing there. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, what has our society come to? That people are starting to actually be programmed that they can't get out of their car without a mask on. They're standing in this huge parking lot. Everyone's social distanced, okay? But they're mind controlling us already. That, you get out, put the mask on, social distance. It's like just another way. And if you follow Dr. Anthony Fauci, maybe next week there'll be no masks again because he's gone back and forth between the validity of the masks for a while. I read a study the other day that if you wear a mask for too much of a prolonged period, then it starts to capture the carbon monoxide that we emit in our breath and our breathing. And when too much of it gets tangled up in there, bacteria could be in there, and then you ingest the bacteria and you die because you get like mold in your lungs. So, still mixed messages, but to me, it's really kind of mind controlling that people can't even be outside in the fresh air and the sunlight, and we're already being conditioned to wear masks, which is nuts. Keep my eye on Overstock.com also as a single stock. I'm a shareholder in Overstock. I worked for the company for quite some time. I can tell you that I've seen Overstock mentioned in some of these Wayfair stories and all this other crap. As someone who worked there for quite some time, I've been in their factory, I've been everywhere. I have never seen any underage children locked up in an industrial cabinet in the warehouse of Overstock.com. In fact, I saw quite the great operation. Stock almost broke through 50 the other day. And if you take a look at the market cap of Overstock.com, a couple $2 billion, really, really great recovery from its recent lows. And you put that side by side with Wayfair. Wayfair stock is like $200. And they allegedly sell pillows with trafficked and missing kids' names on them. So you might want to take a look at Overstock and do a little comparison because they're in the same business. Overstock just tends to make money every so often and lose a lot less than Wayfair. And they're quite competitive with them. So, Wayfair, I think, is like $200 today. Overstock is $44. I was looking at the other day with my buddy Tom, who's a great options trader. I was looking at buying some August 50 calls, meaning you buy now, you pay a little premium for the time. But if the stock is over 50 before the end of August, you make a nice score. So I'm thinking that it could very well be over 50, and the stock, if it keeps going the way it has with the new marketing and the new management team, the deep focus on user experience, the stock could be $100. So, I'd keep your eye on that too. Keep your eye on the prize, which is right here, Liquid Lunch, your midday stop for the news with the booze. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with Lisa the love coach, Concepcion. I'm going to talk to you about how to better yourself and maybe find a better mate. We'll take a quick break and come back with Lisa.
Welcome back, folks. I've been taking my makeup off every day with the coronavirus wipes. I'm still corona free.
Didn't even wipe your fake tan off.
Well, that's because that's not a fake tan. That's a real tan.
This November. And Democrats don't want to see it, at least establishment ones. It seems like they're trying to sort of
Against weed, but for guns, right? There's all these different, and to me the palette is the middle, is different shades of purple, and that's who's going to decide this election, right?
Mine's kicking in.
There you go.
It's just gonna work out after this.
30 seconds.
Right.
Your cue is you look for like 2 now. When I say 2 minutes left in the segment, you're filming the next guy up.
You know what I'm saying? That I spew out.
3, 2, 1, bump, quiet on set.
All right, welcome back. You're watching Liquid Lunch on Biz TV. I'm John Tobacco. We're coming to you today as we do every single day, still in the Corona Bunker Studios, coming from the living room of my house. Thank God I live on the ocean because when I'm about to blow a gasket, I can go outside and rub some CBD on myself and have a drink and look at the water, and it's kind of soothing. And my good friend Jennifer Boer-Cuevas, disaster mental health expert, tells me all the time when she coaches me to be mindful. Be mindful of all the good things you have. Be mindful that God loves you. Be mindful that your children are healthy and you're healthy. So I try to do that, but it's getting harder and harder for a lot of people as this thing drags on and we're all walking around in masks. It's like you don't even know who someone is. Hey, Johnny, how are you? Who is that? Ooh, take your mask down. Ooh, put your mask on. So it's like a whole thing now, and it's all contributes to the anxiety. And if you want to get rid of your anxiety, you got to track down this lady right here because she's one of the best at picking up your spirit, giving you some little tips and positivity on how to use these trying times to find your best self. Lisa, the love coach Concepcion, joins me right now, certified professional life coach, specialized in dating, relationships, marriage, breakups, divorces, premarital preparation even. I failed almost all of those, Lisa, so I need some coaching. I'm bad at dating. I'm bad at relationships. I'm 0 for 2 on marriages. Every girl I break up with hates me afterwards. And I don't think I'll ever have any premarital preparation. So I need all the help I can get from you, Doc.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And you're not alone.
I would imagine. So, Lisa, we've been friends for a while. Lisa's been on the show many times before. We haven't seen you in a while, but
I know. Happy COVID.
Yeah, happy COVID to you.
Right?
I have to tell you, I follow Lisa all the time on all social media, and sometimes when I'm feeling like crap, I say, I haven't seen Lisa in a while, and I go on her Facebook and I look up one of her recent things, and she's walking on the beach or this or that. Very assertive, but very positive. How can people use these times, Lee, to actually find their best self?
Oh, such a beautiful question, and an absolute time is now to really do that inventory of where am I in my life? Do I like where I am in my life? Where is my purpose? Am I on purpose? Am I on point in my life? And I asked these questions of myself very recently, and I decided I needed to up-level my life in a major way. I'm actually moving from Miami to Sarasota at the end of the month. I got an urge. I said, you know what? I have to go where I'm called. I have to go to a part of Florida that is much more aligned with where I am in my life right now, my values, the way I want to live, the way I want to exist when I walk outside with my dog and just living my life. There's an energy that I want to have within, that I also want to see in my surroundings, that I also want to be aligned with. Alignment is everything. And this is certainly a time where people are assessing their lives. A lot of people living in the cities, they want to get out of the cities. They're seeing what American cities are turning into day after day after day with no end in sight. And they had it. They pay a lot of money to live in cities, and they're not getting the quality of life that they once had, once wanted, and they change. And people grow and change and evolve. And sometimes in very trying times, like we've had unprecedented times, we are often inspired to do a check about our lives and where do we want to go from here, and what can we do to make things a bit more peaceful, a bit more aligned with our values. So I think this is the time to do that. And we see a lot of people doing it. I'm coaching a lot of people who see my own journey shine. It's shining on social media. You see it yourself. I'm at a beach one minute, I'm looking at condos the next. I'm very authentic and open with my own journey because I feel that's the best way for people to learn and be inspired. If I'm not walking my talk, then what kind of coach am I, right?
Why would you be looking at condoms? That confused me right there. That threw me off.
Condos.
Oh, condos. Oh,
Condos.
like a new house you're looking for.
Yeah, a new dwelling.
Aha. So, from what I know, and I saw what you were talking about, and I saw your manifesto on why you were making the change that you were making, and it's hard sometimes to, break bonds, to trust, distance and stuff like that. But a lot of people don't realize, and you bring this out, and a lot of people, I would imagine, because I know it works on me, and I'm pretty stubborn. But sometimes you got to do the hard thing for yourself, and not necessarily be selfish, but you can't stay committed to things that aren't letting you get to your best self, right?
Yeah, and sometimes, like in the case of a relationship, let's say, so I'm in this relationship, I'm 4 years in, and I just felt like in my life, I need to mix things up. I need to go where I'm called. I need to grow. I need to expand. Now, am I moving to California? No, I'm moving 3 hours away from Miami. And so I said to my boyfriend, I said, I feel like I can go and set up a great life there, and you're more than welcome to come visit me. This doesn't mean we're ending. This just means we're changing. And you can come and see if you like it. And if you love it and you want to make a go of it with me there, then you're welcome to do that. And if we find that we're not on the same page, we'll cross that bridge. But everything is just, let's move things. Let's move the ball with a first down, right? Another first down, another first down. Now, take a little first downs, march the ball up the field. No need for the Hail Mary. No need for any of this crazy. Just let's take little decisions. Let's make them from a place of peace. Let's make them from a place of being very grounded, very certain, very intentional. And just let's see. We have a lot of love there, great friendship, a lot of respect. And when you have those things in a relationship, then everything's up for negotiation, right? Everything can be sorted out. And so if, you have a lot of people out there who are saying, one person wants to leave and they want to move, they want to downsize, they want to sell their house, and they've been, let's say, in a couple or a marriage for years and years, and the other person, no, I'm here, I'm staying, I don't want to leave. And there's that friction, so it's very important that the communication is solid, that both people are heard, that both people are able to express the reasons for why they're feeling called to move at this point in their life.
Lee, I like
and the other person can do it.
I love your football reference, because I used to coach high school football.
Oh, yeah?
And we had our game plan for the game, but I always used to tell the boys before we went on the field, hey, we can't get to the first touchdown if we don't get the first down. So let's get a first down, and then we know our plan's working. Then we get another first down, and boom, then we get lucky. We find their weakness, we break one, and we get the touchdown. But we got to start with the first block. And one thing I used to do on Fridays, when you don't want the kids to really collide a lot because you don't want anybody getting hurt the day before the game, we used to do this drill called Perfect Game, where we would visualize and run the plays with no football, right? So it was, everybody was just going through it and visualizing what we wanted to happen. Should people take time to meditate, and when they're going through it, and visualize where they want their life to go? Is that a good tactic to use?
Oh, John, it's a wonderful tactic to use. So visualization is an amazing manifestation tool. So a lot of the work that I do in my coaching is rooted very much in quantum physics. It's rooted in a lot of universal laws, the study of these laws, and helping people to live their lives in accordance with those laws so that they manifest amazing things in their life very effortlessly also when you know how to work with these laws. And one tool that is amazing that I've used myself, it's how I manifested the last 30 days of my life, the new car, the new place that I'm moving to, other amazing things, new clients coming in, different business people that I'm going to be mixing it up with. This, I said, I want to do more podcasts. I want to do more interviews, and boom, out of nowhere,
Yeah, you see, we've been waiting for you to come back.
Yeah,
I know that.
I know, I love it too. And so I always visualize, I have a huge vision wall, not just a board, a wall right outside my bathroom, right? So I have a master bathroom, and then there's like a closet wall. I made that whole wall like wallpaper of vision, clipped out of magazines, quotations, things that really light me up. And I sit there, I brush my teeth, and I visualize. I see the car that's there. Boom, I'm going to get that car. I visualize myself in it.
I love
what
it.
else?
Lee, wait, we got
the light,
hey,
the
Lee.
apartment, everything in my life that I want. I close my eyes, I lay still, or I'll look at it on my wall, and I'll just get into this mindset of it exists. It already exists. I just simply have to align with it.
All right, listen, we got like 30 seconds left in this segment, but do you have to go anywhere? Can you hang with me for one more segment? Because I want.
Oh, I can totally, honey. I can hang. I can hang.
Okay, baby girl. Then when you gonna hang for a few minutes?
I have like a 1:30. I have a 1:30. So
okay, so then you got a little more time with me because a lot of boys tune in on Women Wednesday. We call it Women Wednesday because we try to get as much of the women's perspective as we can on Wednesday. And I think a lot of the boys out there want some help and need help on post-COVID dating, and you're the love coach. So stick with us. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're not going to see a lot of me, but you're going to see a lot of the lovely Lisa Concepcion right after this. She's going to tell you how to step up your love game in just 2 minutes. Stick right there.
For more Liquid Lunch, head over to YouTube, do a search for Liquid Lunch TV, and hit that subscribe button.
Just kicking it through the first hour. If you hear some buzzing in the background, that's because I have a whole landscaping team here shaping up my backyard for my daughter's pre-prom party tonight. Believe it or not, in New York, they're allowing the kids to have a prom, which is amazing. I want to ring my bell on that one. It's a great day for at least high school seniors who even got gypped out of graduations. But for those of you like me who have been quarantined for months and you still don't have a significant other to take to the prom, we bring in an expert in this area to give you some coaching tips. It's Lisa the Love Coach Concepcion. She's with us. She is a major expert in all facets of relationships, breakups, marriages, divorces, all that stuff. Lee, give me the rundown because I'm getting myself ready now to get out of the COVID and get in the dating scene. Give me the rundown on post-COVID dating. What are the protocols now?
Wow. Okay. So the post-COVID dating, is a lot of ambiguity. There's a lot of weirdness going on because people don't know. Do I social distance? How do you date? Do I meet someone and stay 6 feet away? Do I FaceTime and not see them in person until I get trust and know I can know that they're gonna not infect me? It's a lot of weird, different stuff happening. However, still going to want to see people. We're social creatures. We want connection. So the key is to establish trust. So what we're seeing is this nice trend where people are getting so used to Zoom calls and so used to this like two-dimensional computer FaceTime thing that people are having full-blown courtship and that get to know one another phase carry out like the way I'm talking to you right now. I had a client where this
So I know you're in a relationship, but can I tell my friends that we're dating now because we're doing a FaceTime call, or that doesn't work post-COVID?
Well, I mean, it's similar to what's going on out there, but
Yeah,
everything
hey
obviously-
baby, how are you today? I don't think, honestly, I feel like 80% of the female humans that I run into are no longer really that caught up in this COVID thing. Like 80%.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? I see some of them are like, I see people that are still scared about it. Is this going to be the new normal, or can we actually get back to, dinner, drinks, after the show, after party?
I don't know, right? So I'm in Florida, right? But I'm in the People's Republic of Miami.
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Things are a lot different. They're very hyper crazy with the masks and it's a hot zone and all this. So a lot of stuff is closed. You could go eat outside, but you can't go inside the establishment. So you can only eat outside. Well, the rules change every minute. So it does impact dating, right? But I do believe that we are social creatures. We are creatures of connection. And we're going to find a way. People are going to find a way.
So, Lee, give us the biggest mistakes. 'Cause I know a lot of my friends out in the audience, if you're super nice to a girl, it seems like they lose interest. And if you, don't answer their text for 4 or 5 hours, then they're, more interested. Why? What are the mistakes the guys make?
So the mistakes that guys make that leans right into what you're saying is they're not clear on what they want. They're not clear on what they want for their own life. And then they don't know, based on what they want for their own life, who is the most appropriate woman to have by their side. They're just kind of out there. She's hot. I want to meet her. There's no intention. There's no clear, clarity about here's where I'm at in my life. I am this age. I want to accomplish these things. And this is the kind of woman that I want by my side as I do it. When a man starts going into that level of really doing the mental inventory of his life, who he attracts up levels exponentially. And I'm not talking about physical appearance. I'm talking about all of it. These men out there who want that total package woman, you need to look at the total of your life, all of it, your money game, where you're living, how you're living, do you like your life, all this. There are things in your life that are not working. Got to handle those things, because that is what a quality woman who's going to like being treated well because she knows her value. She's going to appreciate the effort that a man puts forward. She is not going to be needy and clingy and he didn't text me for 5 hours and whatever. She's going to be too busy in her own life and her own ambitions, her own accomplishments, that she's going to be like, honey, I adore the time we have together, but I don't need to be joined at the hip. You have your life. I have mine. We come together. We have a beautiful time.
I'll take a 6-pack of those.
Yeah.
I'll take a 6-pack of those.
Right.
You know what I
Every
mean?
guy wants that, but we have to say, who are you being? Are you being the kind of man that type of woman wants? Most men are not.
Yeah, no, I'm probably not. Every mistake you said, I probably make on a regular basis. But I think I'm going to need you to reconnect with the show, because I was looking forward to seeing you since yesterday, because you're such a positive voice. And you know what? People are going to be confused about how to, get back in the saddle again and dating. Yeah. So maybe we could have you back next Wednesday, and you could give people some more mindful tips and little stuff, and that would make me happy. I'll be waiting till next week to see you again.
Count on me. I'm happy to help you.
All right.
And your viewers.
All right. Hey, listen, they love you. I could see that already, because I could see the comments on social media.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Send me the link. I'll engage with them. They can find me all over social media, too. You just tag me on whatever, and then they'll find me.
You know it. Jess will do that.
If they're Instagram, right? Instagram, at Lisa the Love Coach, Instagram. Everybody watching can head on over to lovequestcoaching.com and get a free love life assessment. You can ask me your questions right there, lovequestcoaching.com.
Boom. All right. And she's going to be back next Wednesday. Lee, thank you so much. You are the bomb.
Thank you so much. Bye. Have fun with your daughter's prom.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, sister. That's Lisa, the Love Coach Concepcion. Quick break. Kick off hour 2 right after this. this market is confusing the hell out of me, the HE double hockey sticks out of me, because it just keeps going up. And earnings are not going to be good. Most businesses are opening now. Some states are reclosing. So, you know, there's a lot of volatility. So I would just continue. I'm not a bandwagon jumper or bandwagon jumper son, but I'll jump bag wagons. I don't know. There was a saying like that or something. But I still stick to, I think the market needs a clean out. But if you decide at 27,000 that Johnny T doesn't know anything and you know something more, get in there. And if you're investing for the long term, which everyone out there, okay, should be investing for the long term. So when I see some of my friends out there who are like, you know, retired cops, they're on a nice pension, they got a small side business, they're living a great upper middle class life, and then they come up to me in a bar or at my bocce league or something, say, Johnny T, what do you think about this? What do you think about this stock? And I say, hey man, what are you doing? Well, no, I'm trading it. I made $82 on it yesterday. And I say, well, you're 52 years old. What are you doing trading stocks? You're on a pension and you got a side job. Like, when I talk to you about the market, except for those real experts out there, and there aren't a lot of them, you should not be trading the market. You should look at things and build a diverse portfolio that you want to increase in like 15 years, depending on how old you are, 20 years. If you're in your 30s, 25 years, okay? Invest for the long term. If you can get passive income coming into you, get it and put it away. And defer money. Deferred money is one of the best things you could do for yourself because you can't spend it and then like 10 years later, whammo, it's flying off the shelves like you can't believe. My buddy Mike D'Antuono, who comes from a very amazing business family here in Staten Island, is talking to me about some future planning where you know, you can get these policies where you pay and then you defer your takeout on it for like 10 years, and then all of a sudden 20 years later you got like boom, a big wad of dough out there. So invest for the long term. Don't trade. Guys like me trade because I'm stupid, because I want to waste my time and resources during the day because I think I know what's happening sometimes. But for the most part, when I talk to you about being short, I've been saying the same names to you since February, that I'm short since February. I haven't covered any. I haven't shorted anymore. I made my positions. I made my bed. I'm sleeping in it. I think at the end of the summer, there's going to be a calamitous day for some of these stocks, but we shall see. And if I'm wrong, I'll let you know. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with some more news of the day. Joe Hagan joins us after that, and we wrap it up with Lauren Conlon, host of the Red Carpet Rendezvous podcast, to talk about Pizzagate. I was talking to one of my friends last night. I had a bunch of friends over last night, and we were talking about a lot of things in the news. And one of the things I was thinking about was, you know, everyone keeps saying they want this guy de Blasio gone here in New York. A lot of cities around the country, blue mayors, are doing all these crazy Black Lives Matter things. And did you know that in New York City, Bill de Blasio has a 73% disapproval rating? So it's not like the left versus the right. Almost 3/4 of the people in New York City want him out, okay? So one of the things I was thinking about, and this is, you know, we have to coat this set of statements here as satire, wink, wink, or wink, wink. But imagine if, you know, well, everybody's doing these GoFundMe pages for this and for that and for the other thing, GoFundMe, right? Bill de Blasio allocated $800 million to his wife to start this program, Thrive. It was a mental health awareness program and everything else. Somewhat like 3-4 years in, like $400 or $500 million has been spent, and not a single measurable result has been derived from this program. So there's like $500 million missing, and nobody can account for it. And Shirlane de Blasio is the one who is overseeing this program. So one of my friends was, and a bunch of people, you know, we were talking satirically, saying, hey, you know what? Bill de Blasio is known to take a bribe here and there. I mean, allegedly, he's had a bunch of people go to jail who were his donors, who gave him money and kickbacks, broke campaign finance laws. He's never been found guilty of anything, so I have to say the word allegedly, but he knows how to twirl a paper bag. I can tell you that, okay? And what I was thinking was this. Imagine in a world where we could start a GoFundMe page and spread it around all New York City and say we raise $1 million, okay? What we do is we offer it to the mayor, Bill de Blasio, as a bounty. It's almost like a kickback or a going away gift. Like if you leave early, this $1 million in the GoFundMe page will go directly to you. And I'll be the first guy to hit that button on send. If he signs the paper, I resign officially, I send him the $1 million. Now, if we raise $1 million or $2 million and $3 million or some craziness happens, because probably everybody will want to throw in money to get de Blasio to step out of office. If we can't come up with enough money for the bribe, because him and the missus already made off with like $400 or $500 million from the Thrive mental health program, then what we do is whatever money we have there, he won't leave, we refund the police. So instead of these morons who want to defund the police, we raise the bribe money to give it to de Blasio. Like, get out of office, do us a solid, you only got 18 months left, here's $1 million, $2 million, get lost. He goes, oh, Johnny, I want that. We give him the cash and we get rid of him. That's A. B, he's like, no. I got another $400 million to rip off from this city, and your $2 million's not doing it for me, JT. Then what we do is we call up Pat Lynch from the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association, the president of the PBA Union and the Sergeants Association and Department of Corrections Association. We call up the unions and we take whatever money we have and we refund the police. So when the city and the liberal progressives are sucking money out, we do two things. We stand up as citizens and say, here's a check, get out of here, which would be a glorious day for almost everyone in New York City. Or if he doesn't leave and take heed to our demands, we could kick it up a notch to Governor Cuomo, who almost everyone around him has been indicted in one way or another for taking bribes and kickbacks. We can offer it to him because he can actually remove the mayor if he thinks that, you know, he's unsafe for society. So we could try to kick the kickback up to the governor and get him to throw out de Blasio. And if both of those fail, then instead of defund the police, we take the dough and we refund the police. Jeff Sessions wants a recount, or he wants a refund on all the money he spent on his campaign to get his old Alabama Senate seat back, and he ran against famous football coach Tommy Tuberville, and you know, Tommy Tuberville was the coach at Auburn, okay, and he's running for Senate in Alabama. And you know those Auburn, Alabama games, like Keith Jackson used to say, we're going to have a barn burner tonight. And they get together. There is a fierce rivalry down there. But believe it or not, Tommy Tuberville laid a good old-fashioned week one college football beating on Jeff Sessions. I think he beat him like 70-30 or 65-35 or something. Jeff Sessions is was a senator, and now he is the disgraced former attorney general who, and you know what, I gave him credit in 2015, end of 16, he was the first U.S. senator to come out and put on a MAGA hat and support Donald Trump. And when Donald Trump made him the attorney general, he thought he had a real team player on his side, and then he recused himself from the whole Mueller hoax, and that kind of really ticked off the prez. He got removed. And everybody says, well, you know, he stood up for himself. No. As it turns out, it was a hoax. Nothing happened. There was no collusion. There was no collusion at all. Not one American citizen was found to have colluded with the Russian government. Did Russia try to do things? Yes, without a doubt. But they didn't collude with any Americans. And Donald Trump simply said to Jeff Sessions, hey, man, You know we didn't do anything wrong. So why are you recusing yourself? Just stick in there with me. We know we didn't do anything wrong. Turns out Trump was right. They didn't do anything wrong. Robert Mueller confirmed that in his report. And Jeff Sessions was wrong. And it turns out that the state of Alabama voted overwhelmingly in the Republican primary with Donald Trump's pick, Tommy Tuberville. And Tommy Tuberville will now be the new candidate for Senate, and we need that Senate seat there in Alabama. This is the first loss of Jeff Sessions' whole entire career, spanning more than 30 years in Alabama as a senator for 2 decades and attorney general. So he's been facing a barrage of attacks from the president. He tried to play the middle ground and say, hey, I still care about the president and all this other stuff. But the people of Alabama rejected him overwhelmingly, just like the president did. And now former Auburn coach Tommy Tuberville will be the Republican candidate for U.S. Senate from Alabama. And I think actually Nick Saban even got on a call to support Tommy Tuberville with the president, which was pretty cool for the coach of Alabama to be supporting Tommy Tuberville, former coach of Auburn. Lots more to talk about in this hour. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about your money and what's good for your long-term life with Joe Hagan. We're going to follow that up with Lauren Conlon from the Red Carpet Rendezvous podcast. Quick break. Back right. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Favorite old show of mine, Welcome Back, Kotter. I don't know if any of you out there in TV land remember Welcome Back, Kotter, but there was a character on there by the name of Juan Epstein. And Juan Epstein recently came out and said that his dad did not kill himself. And Jeffrey Epstein, I would still contend, didn't kill himself. The word is big news yesterday that Ghislaine Maxwell pled not guilty. She asked for this big complicated bail package, and the judge, let's just say, brought down the hammer with a no, remanded, no bail, you're out of business. And it could be a government plot to keep her trapped in one place because it might make it a little easier for the Clinton cartel to get to her. But what they're saying is that they're moving her around from cell to cell, and she is starting to consider talking. So let's see. That would be big because that would dispel a lot of these things as either complete rumor and conspiracy theory or fact. And I think a lot of people would like to hear that. Fact of the matter is, we talk about your portfolio in the market every single day and every single week. My buddy Joe Hagan, Wall Street veteran, joins us. He's the CEO of Wealth Colony. He's been on the money, like I can't tell you, going back to October with this stock data dog, which is really taking advantage of the data and the cloud economy. Fresh new highs last week and a little bit of a pullback after the last show, Joe. But you still feel good about the dog?
I'm sticking with the dog. I was thinking it might have a little bit of an issue getting through 100. She traded up to about 98. And, it's healthy to get a nice pullback, let all the tourists off the bus and, make another move. I think before the end of the year, she's worth $50 billion, and that's about $125 stock.
Wow. All right, so we'll keep our eye on that. The symbol is DDOG. And Joe, now you and I are both shareholders, very large shareholders in InvestView, of course, publicly traded and under the symbol INVU.
Yes, sir.
And we were both big advocates of the passive income generated from the Apex program. That agreement ended on June 30th. And it was quite the deal where people will get an extra one for every, few they bought. But I guess people who got in early will reap the rewards. But now there's a new opportunity out there around InvestView. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so that opportunity was awesome, and I'm so happy that the management extended it through the COVID crisis and allowed a lot of your viewers and a lot of my referrals to get on board and take advantage of that. There will be a new deal ironed out. I don't have that yet, but in the meantime, what we do have is an opportunity to have a 13% return, which isn't quite the 20%, but you also have an opportunity to get some extra capital gains by owning some additional equity in the deal. So it's a preferred share that is expected to trade on NASDAQ, but at the end of the day, it pays you 13%. And the best part about it is you have 3 years worth of that dividend escrowed, so that you know you've got a 3-year runway to take your 13% a year and get the equity where you can make, I think, another 50% on your money. So it's a really smart deal. And I'd love to share it with anyone who's interested while this window of opportunity is open. And one more thing, it's not a $15,000 minimum. You can get in with as little as $100, and you do it yourself, and you can sell it whenever you want.
Wow. So this is just to make it a little simpler for those of you watching at home. I've been talking about the Apex program for over a year now. A lot of our viewers did get involved in it, and I think they're very happy about it. But now InvestView is coming out with a new product. It's another class of stock of theirs, so it's a publicly traded instrument that pays a 13% annualized dividend. And then at the same time, with Apex, you had to come up with a minimum of $15,000. So it was a little tough for some people. But you got a 20% return, but your money was locked up for 5 years. In this one, the InvestView Preferred, I believe, is paying a 13% dividend, but you could buy it, and if the stock happens to go up in a few months, you could sell it, and you'll still get your pro rata share of the dividend for the time you owned it. Is that right, Joe?
Yeah. Just one thing on the Apex, you weren't really locked up for 5 years. It's a 5-year commitment. By year 2, you've gotten all your principal back, and the rest of the lease payments wind up, pure profit. In this case, you can sell it if you don't want to take the 13%, but where else are you getting a 13% return? So it's the way smart money invests. It's institutional, right? You're going to get a 13% return on a preferred share. That money's escrowed to make sure you get those payments, okay?
Got it.
Yeah, it's a ton of risk. And then you also are going to, which gives you additional upside.
Okay, but yeah, I was just, for the more novice folks at home thinking about it, and I know a lot of people reached out to you. Some of them it wasn't for them, but if you made the investment of 15 grand, you weren't going to get that money back for 2 years. And what I'm saying is, the beauty of this one, the return is a little lower at 13%. But if for some reason you need your money in 6 months or 9 months, you can just sell the stock. With the Apex, you had to wait 2 years to really get your money back.
Yeah, that's accurate. You can sell in 6 days, 1 day, whatever. It's liquid. Once the symbol starts trading. So once they get their symbol, which is soon, I have a feeling a lot of broker dealers are going to take advantage of this and gobble up the deal. But we have a little window opportunity open for some individuals that we're providing access for. So reach out to me or to you at your email. And send me the information. I'll be happy to share it with you and explain it.
If you want to know more about how you can get a liquid investment with a 13% return, and anybody that is interested, I'll make sure that Joe gets right back to you and treats you like family. Appreciate you staying tuned in. Don't go anywhere. Quick break. Lauren Conlon coming back at you right after this.
Welcome back, folks.
I've been taking my makeup off every day with the coronavirus wins. I'm still corona free.
Didn't even might be fake tan off.
Well, that's because that's not a fake tan. That's a real tan.
This November, and Democrats don't want to see it. At least establishment ones. It seems like they're trying to sort of
against weed, but for guns, right? There's all these different, and to me, the palette is the middle. There's different shades of purple, and that's who's going to decide this election. Right?
Wine's kicking in.
There you go.
It's just gonna work out after this.
30 seconds.
Right.
Where Q is, you look for like 2 now. When I say 2 minutes left in the segment, you're filming the next guy up.
All right, welcome back. Every so often on a Women Wednesday, we get lucky. And when I say lucky, I mean lucky in the nicest form of the word, not in a way some of you perverts may be thinking about it. But today we get lucky when we're joined by Lauren Conlon. She's an entertainment correspondent, host of the Red Carpet Rendezvous podcast. And we're lucky because she lights up our lives often on the show. Lauren, thank you for joining us.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
Ghislaine Maxwell, or Ghislaine, or whatever you want to call her, arraigned yesterday, pled not guilty, begged the judge to consider this big bail package with $5 million in cash and private security, ankle bracelet, and the judge just said, nah. What are you hearing on this? What's the scuttlebutt?
Good. So this is very interesting. I've heard a lot of things recently, and I'm not sure if some of them are true, but I heard that she was secretly married, but she's not giving the name of her husband up. This is just a total random fact. I read that this morning in the Post. And then I'm not sure if you saw this also, but there is a photo going around of JonBenet Ramsey, and it appears that Ghislaine Maxwell is in the corner of the photo. It's basically her profile. Have you seen this?
I didn't, but Jess is on top of all these things.
Look it up. It's crazy. I was like, no, this cannot be right. I mean, another thing that I'll say about Ghislaine is after she was apprehended, like I think it was maybe 2 or 3 days later, that's when the Wayfair child trafficking scandal basically broke. Did you hear about that as well? Yeah. So all of these things are adding up, and I just don't know what to think anymore. Is she responsible? And did she have something to do with JonBenet Ramsey's death?
I mean, that's the craziest thing ever. I'm just looking at a text because Jess is on top of all this stuff. And now I see it. There's a little shot in the corner that does kind of look like her. I gotta agree on that.
Are we crazy? Do I want to believe this because I just want JonBenet's case to be solved and I think Ghislaine is just completely heinous? I don't know. I really don't know what to believe. However, it does look a lot like her.
Oh my God! Don't take it. I mean, God, that would make this thing so much bigger. And Nico's saying there's a lot more.
Bigger. I know. And side note, I told Nico when she was arrested, she was arrested in New Hampshire, and the media broke that it was Bedford, New Hampshire first, which is where I am right now and where I'm from. And I guess they must think that New Hampshire is so small, there's just one town there, because it was actually Bradford, New Hampshire, which is about 45 minutes away. So they had to backtrack. But for about an hour or two, I was scouring this town saying, who had her? Who had Ghislaine? I was all over it.
Well, you're supposed to be a great reporter. Why didn't you figure out that she was right around the corner from where you and the hubby are hanging out? You should have tracked her down.
Bradford is very far from here. Like 45 minutes in New Hampshire is actually far. And it's New Hampshire's so dead. It's so rural. It's, she was on a hill far away from everything. There's nothing in that town except for a lake, basically.
All right. Let's get to what you do best. Broadway saying that they are shut till 2021. So there's going to be no new plays. By the time Broadway comes back, Hamilton may be canceled out of our culture too. So we'll see how that breaks down. Are there any new shows or new films that are notable that people should be on the lookout for if they're still bored and looking for some way to entertain themselves?
Yes. So I just released a new podcast today about a new film coming out July 31st in about 2 weeks, and it's called The Big Ugly. And it's so good.
The autobiography of John Tobacco.
What's that?
I said The Big Ugly, the autobiography of John Tobacco.
You are going to love this movie. It's a crime thriller suspense, and it's just not what you think. It stars Malcolm McDowell, Ron Perlman, Nicholas Braun of Succession. It's gritty, it's violent, and it's just one of those movies that make you want a sequel and kind of make you not want it to end. So if you have time, listen to my podcast. I interviewed the lead actress, Levin Rambin, and she has just so many nice things to say about her co-stars, how fun it was to make the movie. They all got beers after and, went driving in Ron Perlman's red pickup truck because they were filming in Kentucky. They were just a tight-knit cast, and it really shows on screen.
Last thing I want to talk about, because I know how dialed you are to all the cool kids in Hollywood. Kanye said he's running for president. It's going to be called the birthday party. His slogan is yes. And now you're reporting that he's allegedly dropping out of the race already.
I guess so. I mean, I think whatever Kanye does is to suit his ego. He's an egomaniac. He's a narcissist. And I never actually believed he was running in the first place.
Right.
I mean, I saw that his team was doing all the things. So maybe he just, did a bunch of drugs and was like, yeah, let's have me run for president. But I never actually believed it in the first place. I don't know about you. And his team didn't even come out with an official statement yet saying he was dropping out. This was just an article in the Post, I believe.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no, I actually think that there could be a more devious plan afoot here where the Trump team is working with Kanye to get him to run, even in a few states, because he could steal African-American votes from Joe Biden, which I would actually like to see happen. But I guess you'll keep us up to speed on that. Lauren Conlon, host of the Red Carpet Rendezvous podcast, best of the best, great friend of the show, just like you, so stay there so you can watch Nico and Jess rip me apart right after this.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Danino's, the arugula pie, with white arugula pie with fresh grated Parmesan. This is the margarita pie, beauty. This is the clam pie. Danino's is famous for the clam pie.
Dow still up big. Full story all day long today. Dow just making it higher highs, and it's good news for those of you who are long. I'd stick with it right here. If you're on the train, stay on the train. 26,831, a close above 27,000 today would be good, darn good news for you. I want to thank everybody out there in both our audiences on Biz TV and in social media for your feedback and your comments. I appreciate it. And a lot of our audience members are still emailing me that they want to see us back on Newsmax. I want to let you know that very well may happen. They finally got on Nielsen, and it didn't look like there was a tremendous uptick in their ratings, so maybe they need a little more Liquid Lunch in their life to spark the ratings bonanza, which I think we can do. And you know what? One of the pet peeves the network had when we were doing Liquid Lunch on there was that Frank was a little young for their demographic, Pavlina was a little young for their demographic, Morgan Zeggers was a little young for their demographic. And what bears out in the numbers is they did dismally in that demographic, the 25 to 54 demo. So I'm hoping that our brand of Gen Zs and millennials and people of different styles, colors, ilk, sexes, may be part of what they need to bring back a more youthful audience. And speaking of youthful, every day at the end of the show, I lose just a little more of my youthfulness when it used to be Frank, but now Jess and Nico turn the last few of my hairs I have left gray by correcting all my mistakes in the show, and it turns out to be a roast really. Hello, boy and girl.
Hey, GT. Are you ready?
Hit me. Hit me with your
Well,
bad
yesterday.
shot. All right.
Well, there's a mistake right there. Don't do that again.
Don't imitate
so
Pat Benatar.
Yesterday, you were. You're right. Yesterday, you were perfect. You were perfect yesterday. And today, we only caught 2 errors. So you're doing all right. You're doing pretty good. But
Bring
Lisa
it.
Concepcion.
Yes.
I think you know what I'm about to say. At the end of that segment, you called her brother. Now, that was after an 11-minute lecture of how to properly deal with women, which is proof you'll never learn. But, you know, you did correct yourself and say sister at the end, so I'll give you that. That's okay. Also, this one's a continuous error. Ghislaine Maxwell, or as you say,
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine. Okay, so the S is silent, and from a self-proclaimed former spelling bee champion, I'd expect better pronunciation out of you. So,
All right, let me wait.
No,
Hang
hold on,
Let me-
wait,
no,
wait.
no. Wait.
I
You
came
get
up-
to correct my mistake. Okay, go ahead. I'm going to tell you a trick, but
all
go
right,
ahead.
well, I came up with a way for you to redeem yourself from mistakes from now on. I want to do something new. So if you can spell a word correctly at the end of WTF, the What the Fact segment every day, you will be forgiven for all of your mistakes. So the word is chosen by Jess and I, and it's from the official Spelling Bee World Championship.
Okay, I see how this
Okay.
is going. Yeah. All right, yeah. I mean, I'll
You
try
like
it. I mean, I'll do my best,
Okay.
And these are some of the hardest words to
Okay.
spell.
I would imagine.
Yeah, these are tough words. Okay, so your first word is Cymotruchus.
Cymotruchus.
Now, you could ask all the questions they ask on the National Spelling Bee.
Can I have the word used in a sentence, please?
Yes. Jonathan proudly wore his Cymotruchus toupee on dates. That's you soon.
Can I please have the origin of the word?
This word consists of a part that went from Greek to French and a part from just Greek itself.
I'm struggling with Cymotruchus.
An adjective.
Cymotruchus. I'm gonna go with Symatruchis. Cymotruchus.
Final answer?
Obviously, it's wrong because he's dying to say you're wrong. Yeah, that's my final answer.
You are wrong, and you're not forgiven. Correct spelling is Cymo.
Cymo. Go ahead.
Trichous. Cymotruchus. Having the hair wavy is the definition.
Yeah, here's the thing, but you see,
I wouldn't expect you to know
here's
too
the
much
thing-
about
here's,
that.
Here's the thing. You didn't even say it right, so that can't be Cymotruchus when there's an
That is
I.
exactly how you
There's
say it,
an I
Cymotruchus.
in there. It would be Cymotruchus.
Well, that's the trick. Go ahead, Jess.
According to the official Spelling Bee website, that's the correct pronunciation.
All right, fine. All right.
What's the
Well,
trick
this.
here?
You know what? I'm happy to do this because I'll just get smarter. So, and I am smarter than an Uber driver already, as we know. So, you're gonna have to really step up your game to redeem yourself now, okay? Because nary a time have I come into the studio and heard Jess ask me for Advil or Tylenol. So obviously you're giving her a headache because the poor kid's looking for aspirins, and secondarily. The other mistake that I saw you make today, as I mentioned to our Facebook audience, is you was doing push-ups a little earlier to, I guess, show off for Jess or whatever. Say, look how tough I am, and he's strong and he's big and you know everything.
It's
but
chest day. Thank
he's
you.
got really weak push-ups. That's for sure. But okay, I like it. And are there any other mistakes that you caught today?
No, but maybe we should do a push-up competition.
Well, I don't think I can do that right now. I'm dealing with a case of a golfer's elbow, but yeah, I mean, down the line, I might be able to do that with you. All right, the Dow Jones is at 26,806, which is really good news. Broke through that 800 number, which is good. This thing could be on a rocket shot to 28, 29,000 by the end of the week. The more you see the market going up, the more the market believes that this COVID is behind us, and the more the market believes that Donald Trump will be president. So I think the market's a great leading indicator right now. Leading indicator is you tune in again tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel for some more Liquid Lunch. See you then.